You are about to witness history in the making.
Hi guys, welcome to another Pop Culture Gamers podcast. I'm your host for this evening, Steve, and of course with me is Hayden. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks mate. How are you?
Very sweaty again, and it's great weather when you can do something, but I'm on call at the moment, so it's been a bit of a sit in the house weekend for me. And yeah, as much as I'd like to go out, my knee's been playing up, so I feel like a train wreck at the minute.
Yeah.
But never mind. It's how we live sometimes. This week, we just move quickly on then, because I say it's friggin' hot and I don't want to sit in here and melt all day long. This week for me, not a lot really going on. I did pick up my 7-inch Superman picture disc from eBay. And
yes, I saw your videos about that.
Yeah, and gave it a bit of a clean, and it sounds pretty good considering. And I did originally have that disc back in '78, so that's 40 years old now, I think.
So how do you clean them?
I've got,
because presumably you don't get like a nail brush and a bit of soap.
Yeah, I don't use Brillo pads. I don't use a dishwasher. I've got some cleaning kit for vinyl.
Oh right, okay. It's like the squirt on stuff. It's got the yeah.
It's it's a concentrated stuff that you sort of spray on it and you wipe it with a dirty rag, clean rag. Then you put it up, stand it upright in a little stand to let it just dissipate all the alcohol and that off it, and does wonders. But that was all right.
I must admit, I've always wondered whether or not steam cleaning would do it as well, or whether it would actually damage the vinyl. I suppose it'd warp it, wouldn't it?
Well, the heat may well do, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, but I suppose it's how resistant the vinyl is, isn't it? Really, but you want something that can get into those little grooves.
There is something you can get, which is, have you ever seen it? It's like a rotisserie where it's an upright stand. You slop the vinyl in with the liquid in the bottom, and then the vinyl moves round, and it sort of cleans it. I don't fancy that, but just doing it the way I do it, I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. My vinyl isn't that bad. I mean, I did pick up a couple of second-hand ones quite a while ago, which I gave a good clean, and that did make a difference. So yeah, it's all right. And obviously my YouTube channel is now actually my gamer tag. I've actually been able to change it. So it's just Steve007, so that's all right. So that makes it more round off with everything else.
Yes, certainly does, because mine would only for some reason allow me to actually use my name, which has always really frustrated me because I wanted my gamer tag. Yeah. But there you go.
But what else? We're going to go see Black Eyed Peas in October. So it's another band to go and see. So we'll be busy through October to December for that. The last thing is a little bit of I'm going to give a shout out to Peter the Welshman, I'm going to call him. And what had happened is I noticed my Sky had started to go up in price. So I paid off this month, which is a bit over than normal. And I then you can look at your future payments. And it was next month was £139.
That's a lot of money. That's an awful lot of money.
What the friggin' heck's going on here? So I gave him a ring. And it was about 7:30. It said, 20-minute wait. But luckily enough, I got through to the guy. And basically, all my deals had run out from the 18 months. So I said, what can you do? Because there's no way I'm paying that. I'd rather just jack it in, to be honest. He said, let me see what I can do. I'll talk to my manager. So we were to and fro with what calculations he could do. And we got it back down for 6 months to £89. So
that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
That's for everything. That's me broadband, telephone, movies.
Because you have sports as well, don't you?
Yeah, whatever Sky I've got the lot, basically. So so you think that the bill for the phone's about £40, so you look at that way. I mean, you're paying like 50 quid for Sky.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. But I must admit, I only actually have the entertainment channels because I prefer to use like Netflix or whatever than Sky movies.
I mean, Netflix is okay for older movies, but Sky, for example, as I say later on, I talk about the Justice League, which that came up on Sky this Friday for the weekend, and that's in ultra high definition. So I did watch that last night. But yeah, Sky's all right. I just need to keep a tag on that. So in 6 months' time, I've got to do that all over again.
Yeah, and
see what they can do for me. Just wait and see, really, to be honest. So that's about it, really. Unless anything else pops into my brain later on. What we'll say is, though, the way they did the deals, I think one of the way they shuffle stuff around, box sets, for example, for me is only £7 a month. Box sets, where I think that's a damn sight more for a lot of people. But it was just a bit of jiggery pokery on some between some of the others to get it to the right price. But he did say in 2 weeks' time he'll let me know, because at the moment it's still not set up correctly on my account. Yeah. He said he's on holiday for 2 weeks, so I'll have to maybe phone him back and just double check that's all right. And I had an email from Sky as well this week saying that because I'm a loyal customer, I've got an extra channel, a special one, and it's called how do I put it? It's Sky Atlantic VIP. So all the shows you normally get to watch on Sky Atlantic, I get to watch them early before they're released.
I mean, I know that you get a lot more products, but I've been with Sky since, 98? Mm-hmm. And I haven't got that. But yet I'm a black member on the VIP, on the My Sky VIP. Yeah, because how does that work? How do they work this out? Because they're giving different treatment to different people. Yeah,
they are. I mean,
and it's stupid.
You're the top. Actually, if you look at that Sky app we've got now, which I still never won anything on it, or even the draws or the football. I've actually, because the football season starts next weekend, so I've actually gone into the ballot for some tickets to see Spurs play Man United.
Yeah,
and I won't win, not a chance in now, because I'm only at I've just turned gold. So really, the better deals and the people that I think win are more people that are on the the top tier, which I think's black anyway, isn't it? But we'll see on that. Whatever. So what about yourself? How's your week been?
Well, it's been the first week of my 2-week annual leave, and I must admit, because of just the way that the week has sort of fallen and what's happened during the week, I really don't feel like I've had a week off. It feels like, at the best, an extended weekend. Basically, because my wife was away with my son at the end of last weekend, so when we recorded, and then came back on Monday, and then Tuesday just flew past so quickly, and then on Wednesday I went to Wales, to Llanelli, for a funeral, and then came back on the Thursday. So it was sort of like, if you know what I mean, because of all of the travelling and everybody being in different places or whatever, just hasn't felt like a week off, which is kind of like a bit of a bummer. Really, because it's that's half of my holiday gone, and not really done anything that I wanted to do, because I've still got a patio to lay and I've still got a shed to build.
Yeah, so stop getting them achievements and start doing outside stuff.
Oh, to be honest, it's too hot to work outside. I can't be bothered. I'm hoping by the later part of next week it's supposed to get a lot cooler. So I'm sort of intending on looking at doing something then. Mm-hmm. But so that's basically been it. I mean, I did stop in a Marston's hotel when I was down in Wales, and had excellent internet connection. Can't fault it. It was nice and quick. I could have recorded a show from it.
Yeah, because weren't you playing Destiny?
I was. Yeah, I took my gaming laptop so that I could have a bit of a game and stuff, but to be honest, I couldn't. It kind of felt a bit weird sat playing in it, and I did play it for a bit, but I had a look at some of the new stuff that's come on for the Moments of Triumph, or whatever the season's called this time. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later. I'll put a little bit in there about that because I've been on that all up. I've been on Destiny most of the week, to be honest.
Yeah, somehow I had a feeling that you would be, to be honest. I know that you have been.
I know I was in it all afternoon as well, and
very nice.
I've really thoroughly enjoyed myself.
I wish that I could have done. I was just kind of like send my wife off somewhere, but she doesn't have it.
And I have saved the treasure hunting for us to do later. So,
cool.
So I haven't done that. I've just been doing other stuff. But
well, I must admit, I was on Destiny until about 3:30 this morning. So I feel.
I saw you come on. I was about to go to bed, and I thought, because I don't know what I was on at the time. You might have seen me on. Might have been a certain train simulation just before I went to bed.
Yes, I did see it. Didn't you get my message?
No, I didn't see it, no.
I sent you a message. I sent you a message saying, train simulator, are you serious when you've got so much to do in Destiny?
Well, it was just I was winding down, and I want to talk about the DLC that I've got.
Oh, my God. There's no hope for you. There really isn't.
No, but
I like trains.
At least I get to drive a train in New York, which I'll mention later. But yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have a listen to that later on.
Yeah.
Also, if you remember, I mentioned about the fact that my Elite controller, the rubber, had started coming off.
Yeah.
Well, I've fixed it because I got the Scuff kit for the Xbox One Elite.
Yeah, you haven't shown me the pictures yet, have you? I haven't had a chance to watch the video, but...
I haven't had a chance to edit the video, to be quite honest, and that's the reason why. So I'm sort of intending on doing that this week and getting it uploaded. But also, I've also had a play with my Ouya.
Oh, the Android game, mobile game thingy.
No, the Android console.
Yeah, Android.
Not mobile game.
It's a mobile game console, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so anyway, I've done a couple of unboxings, and in terms of the Elite, actually, shown how to do it, although I had to admit I had to take the thing off screen.
Yeah.
Because just trying to prise off that panel was actually... It wasn't difficult, but it was difficult if you were trying to, hold it in front of the camera and do it gingerly. In the end, I just thought, bugger it.
So silly question. So when you do your videos, what do you use to record with?
I use my iPad.
Okay. And do you have that? Has that got a cover so you make a triangle so it will sit down as you do the?
No, I have a tripod adapter to hold my iPad.
Right. Okay.
And basically, the reason why I do that is just because it's quite easy to sort of set it up so that, I can, I've got a nice big representation of what I'm seeing on screen and whatever. No,
I totally agree, because since I've got my little tripod, where I've been mucking around with that, so you've seen some different angle views that I've done with vinyl.
Yeah.
It's just the way I've been setting that up for different size. Like for a 7-inch vinyl, I wanted it really close. Mm-hmm. So you have to tweak around with the top end, spin this bit, move that bit to try and get that right on that angle you want.
Yeah. Well, that's basically, I do exactly the same stuff. And honestly, you should have seen the way I had it all jerry-rigged to do the 2 unboxing videos, because for a change, I moved out of my living room and did it in my man cave. And I filmed it in front of my TV.
Right.
Which, of course, isn't, it's like the room is the width of a bed plus about 2 foot. So you may imagine it's not like a massively wide room.
So you couldn't swing a cat then, theoretically?
Well, I could, but only on one side.
And you'd have blood smears all the way around the walls.
Yeah, basically. So what I did was to just try and, get the pop culture gamers bit in there.
Yeah.
I had my laptop connected to my TV to project pop culture gamers in the background. So you'll see what I mean when I've
do you know
actually
what?
done it.
Because it's funny, because the other day I was thinking, when I do a camera shot, say like when we're going to do a recording one evening, I'll have my Yeti mic there with the PC. The screen, the picture we got for pop culture gaming isn't very detailed, so you can't really blow it up to the full size of your screen on your monitor. That would be handy.
That's the graphic you've got, because don't forget I created the graphic, so I've got various different versions of it. So
if you've got the right one, you want to send me the most detailed, biggest one I can have for my monitor, just to put it as my screensaver or whatever.
My one upscaled very nicely to 4K, I can tell you that.
Yeah, because then I could have that in the background.
Yeah.
If I'm doing any screenshots, or if I'm going to do something, then that can be there as well.
I'll drop all those pictures into our shared folder. So
yeah.
So a bit of admin there, folks. Don't worry about that. But so I'll talk about the Scuff controller replacement, for the back, about that later on, because it's quite neat. But I'll leave I'll let you watch the videos on that, because obviously I could have set up my capture card, but to be honest, I really could not be asked about it. It was just hot. I was tired, and I thought I can't be bothered with doing that. So I just filmed it straight from the TV.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like literally live as I was doing it. You were getting my reactions, but I downloaded like a Wipeout sort of clone.
Okay.
And played that, which was quite interesting actually. I mean, it looked like sort of somewhere between PlayStation 2 and 3 graphics, but it was all right. And to be honest, it's not a bad little console. The only thing that's narked me a little bit is that they seem to have taken the app part of the store off, so I can't download Flickster, which is the main reason why I wanted it.
No.
Yeah. So it might end up, because I'm not bothered about it as a games console, but I've always wanted to just have a try of one. So now I've scratched that itch.
You put it back in a box, and that'd be it. You'd be done.
Well, I'll probably just take it back to Sex and get most of my money back on it, because they seem to be offering it for all right, but trade-in back, so they don't have a big markup on it.
Yeah, and then you can go and get another box set from Blu-rays.
Well, actually, I did, because I got Heroes exactly the same as what you did as well. That's
why I noticed it. I thought, he's got the same box set I got. It's a good set, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what, though, it's in absolutely immaculate condition. Whoever's had it before has really looked after it.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the thing that sort of tipped it for me, if you know what I mean. Because after you'd mentioned it, I thought, do you know what, I'd really like that as well as a show to watch. So I had a look on eBay, and it was like people saying good condition, and you were looking at the pictures and were thinking, yeah, I don't think that's what I would classify as good condition. I went in Sex in Northallerton today, looked, and I thought, my God, this looks brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally absolutely immaculate. There was no scuffing or denting on corners or anything. And I must admit, they have the Christopher Reeve Superman movies for £12, box set.
I tell you what I'm after.
And I thought I might go back tomorrow, because I've got some stuff to take back.
Which version of Superman 2 is it?
I don't know. It's the whatever is, the box thing of them.
Okay, because I really want the Donna cut again, which I prefer, actually.
Yeah.
If you remember that. I just preferred it, and it's right good that they had some of the scenes they took out of the movie, they put them back in, which are test shots when they did the screen tests. So it seemed way off the mark when suddenly you're watching a scene that doesn't look very well produced, because they're actually screen tests.
Yeah.
Which they did, and
it's also like the original Superman, where they did that director's cut that had those extra bits in where Superman goes into Lex Luthor's lair.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. But I could do. There's another box set worth. Well, I don't know about the box set. I mean, I've just downloaded, actually, funnily enough, Superman the movie and Superman 2 on me, because they got like a DC comic cinema channel at the moment.
Yeah.
So I downloaded a couple of those, and obviously the movie for me this week was watching Justice League, which we'll talk about later. Do you know what? I do, as much as it's grief for a lot of people, I got some good things to say about it personally. I know it's a lot.
Yeah, but they all revolve around Wonder Woman.
That's true.
You didn't notice anything else. In a matter of fact, it was actually an episode of Emmerdale that just happened to have Wonder Woman in it, and that was what you thought was Justice League.
Yeah, she was playing with the sheep, so that was enough for me. But
I tell you what, it'd have been more entertaining than Justice League.
No, well, we'll say later. I did actually. So is there anything else you want to talk about? I just remembered something, a couple of things.
No, I think that's about it, really.
I did get an email from Amazon for another free Audible, so I've signed up. So I've signed up for a free month, but I haven't bought my book yet, and I don't know what to get yet. So, any ideas? Give me a shout, because I do like the dramatization, the dramas they do.
Well, why don't you get and another thing, the next one in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Because they've done a radio show of that.
I'll have to see if they're on there.
It is, because I've got it off there.
Oh, did you? Oh, I have to have a look. Okay, because I was looking at, I got one of the Alien dramatizations, and they're really good. Yeah,
I must admit, I'm waiting for my next one to come along, and then I'm going to probably get the Alien one, to be quite honest with you.
Because it's like listening to a movie. It's really well produced, you know?
Yeah.
But speaking of the heavens above, what I said last week, do you remember I said that I'm fed up with Star Wars and we want more Star Trek?
Yes. You're not going to bust the news
Twitter,
bit, are you?
I can't believe Twitter exploded last night like there was a supernova and you were nowhere to be seen for a while. I thought, where the friggin' heck were you when all this was going on last night?
Well, I was just at the after party.
Well, in Los Angeles. It's in Las Vegas. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so save that for later. But see, my prayers have been answered.
All of our prayers have been answered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I even text Chris, and that cheered him up. You couldn't believe it. Anyway, should we swiftly move on? Gaming.
Yep, let's move on to gaming this week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so no real news.
No, it's quiet sort of time, really, isn't it?
Yeah, a few little releases. So if I do releases, you can do the charts this time. So it's not a great deal there. So for the 2nd of the 8th, we've got This Is the Police 2 for PC from THQ. We have on the 3rd of the 8th, we've got Hello Neighbour. Oh, that's on all PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC from Gearbox. Overcooked 2. PS4, Xbox One and Switch from Team 17 on the 7th of the 8th. And on the 10th, I didn't realise it was that quick. We've got Madden NFL 19, all on everything other than the Switch from EA, and We Happy Few is coming out.
Yes, and it's sort of like now £10 million in order to buy the normal standard edition.
I had to look at it the other day, funnily enough, but it hasn't really changed much, so I don't know if there's going to be a huge update that's going to...
Well... Oh, the game that you've got on your system, do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, okay. Because it was a survival game then, wasn't it? But they're supposed to have changed it around a lot.
I think the survival bit is still in it, but it's just minimal if you want it.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm not into games where survival elements are. But then again, you like that sort of thing because you like Fallout. Yeah,
but then Fallout is not the same. You don't have to drink and eat too much in some of them, do you?
No.
It's whether you can put those in the options and put it in the system of the game you're playing, and you can have it, hardcore if you like. But we'll see. I mean, that's not far away now, is it? I don't even know what today is. That's how bad it's.
Well, today is the 5th. It's 5 days' time.
So we're looking at the end of next week then. So, anyway, what about the charts? Do you want to spin them?
Okay. Well, a lot of change in the charts again, at least for 3 of the positions. So, at number 5, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Edition. At number 4, we have God of War. At number 3, we have The Crew. Number 2, same as last week, Lego The Incredibles. And number 1 is still exactly the same, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So I still think it shows it's that time of year when it's the summer holidays in those charts, apart from maybe God of War.
Yeah. I mean, I think this to say there's a few games coming out in a good 2 or 3 weeks. So even though we're not even the middle of August yet, are we? So
no.
September's only around the corner.
You mean Destiny the Forsaken's only round the corner?
Yeah, forget Tomb Raider. Even though Tomb Raider's nearer, I don't think I'll be playing that for a bit, to be honest.
To be honest, I'm going to have to still go back to Rise of the Tomb Raider. There is something about that game. I loved Tomb Raider. when it was released. I've played it on just about every on every format that it's released on. But when it comes to Rise of the Tomb Raider, I can't get into it. And I know it's supposed to be an excellent game.
It
and
is.
I've played it for a few hours, but I can't. I just play it and I think, I'm not bothered.
Well, maybe it's just not the right time for you to play that game. Simple as that.
What, since it's been released, it's never been right?
Well, no, but it's the same for a lot of games, though. I mean, there's a few games I haven't even started playing that really should be playing, maybe. But it's like some games you'll play and think, why did I play it this late? I really enjoyed it, but it just weren't the right time to dig it out because there's so many other games that you may want to play, like Train Simulator, that you want to. You know what I mean? Yeah. It depends on your mood at the end of the day.
I want to know what this Train Simulator's got, because if it's enough to take you away from Destiny, all that I can suggest is that on the train that you were driving, it must have had Wonder Woman in it somewhere.
No, that was my wind down after shooting enemies at 1 a.m. That was the idea.
Yeah.
No, that's right, just to chill out. Choo-choo, your way.
Yeah, get your flask.
Anyway.
Get your cucumber sandwiches.
So Xbox we mentioned last week. So this week it's time for PlayStation.
Woohoo.
And I don't know. I'll let you read these out because I'm not really enamoured by this one.
Really? I'm surprised because I think this is, they've got a good selection here.
Oh, yeah, okay. You can then brief me on what you think then.
All right, so August the 7th is when the PlayStation Plus games are released, and this month we have, for the PS4, Mafia 3, which is supposed to be a good title. I've still yet to play it, actually. And then Dead by Daylight, which wasn't that sort of like a variation on Evolve?
I don't know, to be honest. While you're chatting away, though, I'm going to have a little look.
It's one that I've not played at all, but I've kind of like been quite intrigued by what it looks like. Mm-hmm. On the PS3, we have Bound by Flame, which I'm a bit meh about, and also Serious Sam BFE, which Serious Sam's a good game. We also have on the PS Vita Draw Slasher and Space Hulk. So I think on the PS4 that doesn't seem too bad actually. So tell us what's Dead by Daylight, because neither of us have played it before.
So Dead by Daylight is I can never say this with such a dry mouth. Asymmetric, survival horror online multiplayer video game developed by the Behaviour Interactive and published by Starbreeze Studios. Its initial release was the 14th of June 2016. So this sounds like an online game only by the sounds of it.
Probably is.
So very similar to Friday the 13th maybe. Which actually I'd love to try that. Just for sheer hell of it and see what it's like.
I'm actually looking at a picture of it actually, and it looks more. It doesn't look asymmetric to me, unless I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll find that out on the 7th.
We certainly will. But I must admit, I'm kind of like quite looking forward to playing that because I haven't played it before. So, and it's been one that I've seen the pictures, the poster work, as it were. I thought, wouldn't mind trying that, see what it's like. But I've never kind of got round to actually doing any more digging around on it, really. So we shall have to see. It looks more.
Go on.
it looks like a sort of horror kind of game. I think you should just do a search on some of the images from it, because I think it looks right up your street, to be honest. Okay.
Well, I'll definitely download it anyway, so give it a spin, see what it's like. But I'll still make an effort to go on and see what ones are on there, and just have them in the library anyway, in case you do fancy playing them.
Yeah.
Because we typically, you think, now I'm not bothered, and you find it's a really good game, and you didn't download it into your library.
Yeah.
So
also, not on that list, but I knew that there was one that was on there. From August the 7th through to October the 2nd, PS Plus members can also download Here They Lie for free for their PSVR system. and experience a game where death is not a checkpoint. Explore a nightmarish city inhabited by strange malevolent creatures in a first-person horror game where unsettling encounters and environments come to life. So that sounds quite cool.
Yeah. If you've got VR, that is. Have you played it for a while? I mean, again, I wouldn't want to play it in this heat. I think you'd be sweating buckets putting that on your face, wouldn't you?
I would have thought so, yeah. To be honest, I haven't played it for ages. It's one of those things that I keep looking at and think, I need to, do something, about it. But I never just, I don't know. I think it's probably one of those things of it feels too much hassle to actually get that system up and running.
Yeah.
I know that I only have to plug it in and then stick it on my head and then sit in the middle of the room. But sometimes I just think, I just want to turn on the console and then just get going.
I know what you mean. It's the thing. It's an expensive bit of kit to just sit there, though, isn't it? Yeah.
There's another thing as well. I think PlayStation have really done well this month because if that's not also enough, you can also get Knowledge is Power as part of your PlayStation Plus membership from August the 7th through to the November the 6th.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Sith.
I know you were then. I thought,
no.
Give Star Wars a break, man. Come on.
I know, November the 6th.
Because actually...
and I've actually got Knowledge is Power, and that's not too bad. It's one of those ones, where you sync up your mobile phone or whatever and play it that way. Yeah,
because I've got the one for the Xbox. Well, it's on PlayStation 4. I've got the other version of something similar, as well as the other interactive games. And the family loved playing those at Christmas, so it'd be worth just picking that one up.
I'll tell you what we should also do as well, is try playing online with the Jackbox games, because you can actually do that. Because you don't need to be on screen to actually, you're in the room to see what's going on, because it also projects it to your phone.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll have a go at that one day.
Because they're quite popular, these Jackbox games, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I quite enjoy playing them. So, yeah, we'll have a go on that. It'll be a laugh.
Yeah.
Be a laugh.
Okie doke. So, should we swiftly move on to what we've been playing this week?
Yep.
Okay, well, it's been a bit quiet. I think even looking at your list as well, it's a little bit on the quiet side.
Well, I haven't listed everything that I've played.
No. Well, I've only put it in just to fill some gaps anyway. But so really, basically, this whole week has been more about Destiny for me. I've stuck a few hours in, and the missus says, well, here's that going on. Well, that's the gun I'm using. I'll change it and you'll hear a different noise if you like. So,
yeah, because you had a bit of a thing when we started playing, didn't you? Because the conversation went to your mobile. Yeah,
should we explain what happened? So what happened is you invited me into the party, and I'd left my mobile with the app running, and I could hear, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I'm looking, where's this little voice coming from? And my app, so instead of connecting to my headset, it connected to the app. So therefore I could hear you through the phone.
Yes.
Which is actually one of the improvements it did for the app, which is quite clever if you need it.
Well, that has also been there on the PC for a while, because we've taught sometimes when I didn't want to wear a headset through the app on the PC, because I've got my PC next to my PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, quality is pretty good though, wasn't it? To be honest, it weren't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
But yeah, so Solace of Heroes started this week. And what this runs from now until the 31st of August, just before Forsaken starts. And this all links up with Moments of Triumphs, which is kicked in, which is basically end of the year. You can go over some stuff that you've done within Destiny. You can earn some points to rack up. If you can clear the Moments of Triumphs, you can obviously pick up that T-shirt, which is, if you was to buy it from Bungie, would be like £1,000 or something. But you gotta. I mean, this is real for. I wouldn't say if we said we were sort of hardcore. This is for the guys that do everything in Destiny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's for those people who play Crucible when they've done everything else in the day.
But then again, we haven't had it'd be nice to get to do the some of the other end game stuff, like
the raid.
The raid, but we've just not had enough people to go around. But it's quite good fun. I like the idea of giving us this new armour to play with,
even though it's vastly underpowered.
But it does improve, because I did look into this.
Yeah.
So you go and see a core. You do a mission. You get given all this armor, which is green armor. If you remember back in the day when you first played Destiny, you just got green stuff, which wasn't very powered. And this gives you a power of about 270 when you're wearing all the armor. But what you have to do is each piece will have some quests attached to it, and once you've done all the quests on each piece of the armour, then it will change, I'm assuming now, because it will change to another colour and work its way up to exotic.
Yeah.
I've cleared about 2.5 pieces so far. 2 or 3 pieces I think I've done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. Whether or not we'll get done by the 31st of August, who knows?
It's 26 days, isn't it?
So we've got time to do it. I quite like it. And also, in the middle of doing this, obviously you have the moments of triumph, where you've got these bounties, which you take, and you use those bounties to earn the points to pick up another ship, some other bits and pieces for your character.
And exotics are dropping like flies now, aren't they?
Yeah, I even got one from just for taking all the trash in. But go on, you say it if you want.
No, I'm not going to say it. But also legendaries as well, because, I've been just deleting legendary gear after legendary gear out of my my inventory.
Well, it's now
recently.
It's now up to 300, isn't it? So they've given us a bit of a sized vault to play with.
Yeah, but if I've been doing it and then going to Zer and cashing in all of that so that I can catch up on some of my exotics, because I think, is it 34 you have to have or something, or 24, something like that, wasn't it? And I'm 2 off now, but when we started on the Moments of Triumph, and when I started, which was Friday,
yeah,
I was sort of like 15 off. so I've been working it somewhat.
Yeah.
Getting exotics, because also you get exotics when you complete all of the adventures, don't you? On a world. Some of them.
Maybe some of them, but what you can do is if you save up your shards and go to Zer, he will guarantee an exotic you don't have. Where normally,
for 99.
Yeah, that's all right. I get that a week easy.
Yeah, so do I.
But it's worth trying to aim for that. I mean, at the moment, I need to clear out my vault again now, because I've got like 3, 4, or 5 of the same. Where I've got one weapon there where it might have an early 350, but now I'm up to 370. So I just delete a few of those or use some of those to upgrade some other bits and pieces. But what I did do this afternoon, I was doing some strikes, and at the same time I was earning some of the bits I needed for my getting all the weapons from one of the other DLCs earlier in the year. Yeah. On the weapons that you can build, which is on Mercury, if you remember rightly. And I think I've got about two or three. I did 2 this afternoon because I had so much stuff in there. I was able to put the stuff into the box to convert it, and then I was actually making the weapon, forging that. So I think I've maybe got 2 or 3 to do now. I'm nearly at the end of that. Mm-hmm. But they're dropping at 270 for me at the moment as well, which is really handy, because that's my sort of drop-off point at the moment. Yeah. But I just had some real good fun. I did some heroic strikes this afternoon. Just had a good blast with it. It's just been a long time since I've done that. It's quite nice to be able to go back to Destiny and actually have stuff to do that you want to do. And there's something else there that I noticed that's just come in. I don't know if you noticed this or not. They brought bounties back. Do you remember back in the day? Oh, yes, I do. So but where do you pick them up? Well, if you go to Zavala, for example, he's got about 7 or 8 bounties. Some of them there is for doing with strikes and bits and pieces. Yes. So have a look at Zavala. You'll see a nice set of bounties.
We have to do so many of those bounties, don't you, for upgrading your armour?
I don't know about for the Solace armour. But
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do if you look.
I don't think so. But anyway, we'll have a look. I'm probably going to have another look tonight after dinner. So get back on that. So something else I got, actually, which I had a little quick sneaky look at because I already own this. And back compat, the Silent Hill HD collection come available. So that contains Silent Hill 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So I've downloaded that, started the second one again. I did love the first one, I must admit. I really enjoyed that. And I did complete the second one back in the day. So I had a little look at that. The controls are a bit janky because they're old school.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. I don't mind. You get used to it when you play it. So we'll have a look at that. No Man's Sky. So I'm finally off the planet at last.
Yeah. Thanks to a little help from my friends, as it were.
Yes, to those that have played it before. And I think I could get knee deep in this game.
I go and sort all that through and help you out right the way through it. You don't even give me the recognition, man. Come on.
Well, you told me what to do because, as I say, the schematics of how this game works with tutorials is as diabolical as anything there is.
Yeah, they could have done more with the tutorials.
I think they could have been a bit more like Destiny, how they would sort of move you forward.
I wouldn't exactly say that Destiny was the best way of doing tutorials, though, to be fair. No,
well, you go to A to B to C to D to do this, to do that, to click this, to click that.
Yeah.
That works fine.
Yeah, but that's not on that sort of story campaign kind of thing, whereas this is completely different. There is a single-player campaign in there, but it's not. It's more something that kind of evolves when you stumble across it, right? You know, and there are plenty of opportunities for you to stumble across it because it's the Atlas quest.
Yeah,
but it's not like Destiny where the whole point is that you have that story and that's what you're supposed to do.
No. But I think it's getting a lot of praise at the moment. From what I'm listening to a few podcasts, and especially from the Xbox side of things, obviously because it's the first time we've seen it.
Yeah,
it's really good. I think really well improved. Again,
I think from what it used to be to what it is now, playing it originally, it's sort of like when you played it on the PlayStation, you were almost beta testing it.
Yeah, it's like
to make sure it worked, and they've developed it over time. But the way that Sony threw them under the bus,
yeah, well, it's a bit naughty, really.
Yeah,
but yeah, again, it's like the way if someone went to Destiny 2 now. From the rate when it started, do you think, my God, there's so much to do? Same, I'm sure maybe that the certain pirate game from Microsoft might be similar now. I don't know. I've not got back to that, but some of these games are sort of building in the background, and they're always adding stuff to it to improve it. Yeah, so it's really good. So quickly, the last thing I've been playing was Train Sim World. I did have the Founders Edition, but for a marginal price, I could pick up the DLC. Obviously, the Founders Edition gives you the Great Western Express route, which is Paddington through to Reading to Oxford and all that, which I know very well anyway. But with the new trains you download, you get to drive on the line in New York, which would be pretty cool to see that because they're very well represented in the graphics of what there is. As much as I know the Great Western Line very well. It is exactly as it is. If I actually sit on a real train and went on it, let's go to Paddington, it's identical.
It's not real time, though, is it?
Yeah. Oh, no. Maybe on the fast train it is. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'll look into that. Anyway, so you've got a couple of trains there for the New York line, and also you've got another one there for Leipzig, and I can't think where that is now. I should have looked it up. But yeah, I quite enjoy that, and there's an extra 200G on the DLC as well. So I'm halfway through the achievements with that. That might get you stirring your juices.
What? You're going to get 200 gamer score? You do know that I do that while sat on the toilet.
I know, and a lot of us will say that you're just so anal, literally. Anyway, So that's all I've been really doing this much. It's not a great deal to say. It's that time of year. But yeah, really enjoy. I'd really say the bulk of this week, and probably maybe next week, is going to be Destiny, I think.
I think it's probably going to be similar for myself as well.
So other than Destiny, what you've been playing? I see that Rare Replay sitting in there.
Yeah. I decided to go back to that, seeing as that, well, to be honest, one of our listeners, Nicky, hello Nicky, he was saying, easy gamer score. And I thought, I don't remember it being that easy, if you know what I mean, because he showed a video of, one of the Microsoft, Xbox team, getting achievements or whatever about, the easiest things to do. And yeah, there are some, because you get achievements for like literally loading a game.
Yeah.
So, out of it. But then there are some other ones in there. And when I first played it and I thought, oh God, I hate games, these old games now, because they were needlessly too hard. But the reason why they were so hard was just because, well, it was to make sure that you kept playing them, because otherwise you complete them in about 20 minutes. So I started playing Jetman, and a bit of, nostalgia, as it were. But I never realised this, but they've got an LT button, so left trigger, and that takes you back in time. So if you die, you just hold LT down and it rewinds it, so you can avoid dying.
Remind me, is Rare Replay with all the...
Yeah, is it 14,000 gamer score or something or other like that?
Because you got I can't think what the games are now. Blimey, you got
Jetman, Saber Wolf, all of those sort of old classic games, but also Banjo Kazooie, Perfect Dark.
Yeah, because I did. Didn't you get that the same way I did about a year ago with Microsoft?
No, I actually had it on disc, but it was given away last year.
Yeah, and that's how I got it. And
because it was for watching them on on E3, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But interestingly enough, the one that they gave away this time is still on, pre-order. So you can't actually play it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you look, it'll be sat there in your inventory, but you can't actually play it.
Oh, I didn't know that, because obviously when you download all those games and want it, that will split your hard drive up a bit, won't it?
Yeah, somewhat. So on the Rare Replay, there is Jetpack Refuel, Cameo, Perfect Dark, Banjo Tooie, Viva Pinata, Trouble in Paradise, Banjo Kazooie. See what else is there? Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah.
And a whole load of other games that are on there as well, to be honest. Far too many to mention, otherwise I'll be just reading a list for the rest of the show. But there is a heck of a lot of games on that. It's amazing. There's 30 rare classics that are actually on that game, which is amazing when you think about it. 30 games, and it was what, 20 quid when it was first out. I think you can pick it up for £2 now, but
yeah, because you got this. I think there's two Viva Pinata games. There's Trouble in Paradise as well as the original.
Battletoads Arcade, Blast Corps, Cobra Triangle, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Digger T-Rock, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Gunfight, Jet Force Gemini, Night Law, Lunar Jetman. Yeah, there's absolutely loads. Solar Jetman.
I did like Jetpack Refueled, actually.
Yeah.
I liked the music in that as well, because I had it on my phone for a while. Very much. That was really good. But yeah, it's a great kids one to have.
It is, definitely. So yeah, I just thought I'll stick it on. I'll give it a bit of a go. Earned probably about 200 gamer score in this period of about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because it does give it out quite easily, to be fair. But yeah, it was quite nice going back and reminiscing about some of the old classic games and thinking, thank God I don't play these anymore.
Well, do you know what? What's your favourite Rare Replay game? I've got a favourite, absolute favourite.
I don't know, to be quite honest. which ones. I quite like the Viva Pinata games when they came out, but also the classic, you can't get better than the classic Jetman. Or Jetpack, rather.
My favourite, if I remember right, was a launch title for the 360. Do you know what that is? Was
it Viva Pinata?
No, it's Cameo.
Oh, yeah, Cameo, yeah.
And that is such a good game.
I never got into it.
No, I love playing that. It really went...
Cameo Elements of Power.
Yeah. Fantastic looking game for the time.
Yeah, and Perfect Dark was that game where... Or Perfect Dark Zero was a game where you played it for the whole thing and you got like 5 gamer score for completing the campaign. Because most of the achievements were all to do with multiplayer that nobody played.
That's right, it was.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not a bad collection at all. Like I said, you can pick it up for a couple of quid, from second-hand places nowadays. It doesn't cost a lot to pick it up at all. I would certainly not buy it from the store, to be quite honest with you, unless you really, really, really love your retro games and you don't want to go down to shops.
I can see it brand new and sealed on eBay, £1.20.
There you go. That's not to say that it's bad, because it's not. No. It's a good collection. And there's lots of other things as well that they've got some sort of like hidden, well, not so much hidden, but there's like snapshots where you've got to do certain things. So, for example, on Jetpack, you've got to build and refuel your spaceship within 60 seconds and take off, or wrap around the screen 5 times. Which is harder than it sounds sometimes, actually.
Some people are asking like to buy it now for $14.99, but that's still a good price, theoretically, for what's on there.
Well, yeah, it's cheaper than what it was when it was originally released. And you've got loads of games on there as well. And there's also videos and stuff like that in it as well that you can unlock and watch.
Because
concept art and that.
I like the back end of it. So where you could just maybe start one of the games if you want. If you start Rare Replay, you go into their menu system on that and you walk into the different areas to pick out a game, and there's extra bits to look at and stuff like that. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a real celebration of what Rare have done over the years, because to me, I always think, whenever I hear Rare, I don't think of them as being a really old company, but they've been around for donkey's years.
Yeah, they gave us the avatars, remember? So yeah. Okay, anything else?
Yes, Stardust Galaxy Warriors Stellar Climax.
Okay, I would like to alleviate what that one is, because I've not heard of it, that one.
I don't even know how I got hold of this. It was either have been like a giveaway game, or from on one of the alternative ones on Gold, or it was really cheap one day in the sale, and I thought, I'll just pick that up and see what it's like later on. I don't remember where I picked it up from, to be honest. It was one of those two. But basically, it's a side-scrolling couch co-op for 1 to 4 players. And it mixes up the sort of shoot-'em-up genre with the combat brawler kind of genre.
Yeah.
As well. So imagine, you're flying through space or whatever, and you've got different characters to choose from, because you play a mech. And there is about 5 mechs to choose from, and you can have 4 play at once. So there's 49 different unique weapon combinations that are within the game, in addition to the upgrades, power-ups and defences, which you can upgrade as you're going along. Every time that you reach the end of a stage, or a stage in a level, then you can do an upgrade, and there's upgrades on the fly and stuff like that. It's really a bit. It's a kind of like a classic kind of shooter, horizontal scrolling shooter.
Yeah.
There's 10 levels in the whole of the campaign as well, and different game modes. So there's the campaign mode, there's a gauntlet mode, there's endless mode, there's a new game plus mode, and more in there as well. And it's just a really enjoyable side-scrolling shooter, but for when things come too close, your mech has this sword that it can sweep and kill things with as well. So yeah, just it was one of those sort of like daft games. I thought, I haven't actually ever played that. I'll have a go at that, and I'll just stick it on, and ended up going and doing all 10 levels all at once, sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's enjoyable. Certainly if you can see it for a couple of quid, it's well worth picking up and having a bit of a go on. I think it's on all formats as well. So I don't think it's an exclusive in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, not bad at all. And my last game this week is Dangerous Golf. I picked this up on PS4.
Oh, okay. I think I got this on the Xbox, I think.
Yeah, I think you have.
Is this where you it's like an arcade version of golf in a room where you have to whack the ball and it goes around everywhere, breaking plates and stuff like that?
That's right. And then you get a smash breaker when you hit so many, or you break so many objects, and then that gives you the ability to control the movement of your ball to some sort of extent. Some levels have obstacles that you've got to avoid, like, for example, you can't land on a certain part of the floor, or in one room, which is a kitchen, there's a cake in the middle of the room, and you're not allowed to disturb that in any way, shape or form. If you do, that's ultimate disqualification of that, that attempt.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also each level has so many different cards that come up, and they're always set exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, for example, you can have money pots as well. So if you pot the ball into one of the holes, which happens to be, like a bronze, silver, gold, or a platinum money pot, then you get more money for doing that level. And you can do what if you sink into one of those holes, if it's available on that level, then you can go to the other ones and just keep taking extra shots. But otherwise, you get 2 shots. You get your initial shot where you've got to get your smash break, and then you can control the ball until it stops. And then your other one is you have to get it, the ball putted in your second shot. So that's the way that the game plays, unless you go into these money holes. And obviously, the other thing that it does is it totals up your scores and then compares you to your friends. So it then gives you a leaderboard of how you've done in comparison to other people.
Yeah.
And also, in order to complete a level, you bronze, silver or gold it as well. So depending upon what your score is, you get a different value depending upon how complicated that you do it. And, you can have explosions and all sorts of things that, you get bonuses if there's a phone ringing in the room for knocking the receiver off. Or if you're at the garage level for exploding the fuel pumps and things like that. If you're in like the posh house, you get different things like smashing vases, hitting a number. You have one level you have to hit 4 pianos that are in a room, which is quite hard to do, and you have to get a smash break in order to get the control of the ball in order to be able to hit the 5 pianos, because you're not going to do that in one shot otherwise. You get bonuses for ricocheting off a wall and then hitting and doing more smashes and things like that. So there's lots of ways that you can inflate your scores, and sometimes when you look at the scores that people have got, you think, how on earth have they done that? That is a fluke. That is not in any way, shape or form a natural thing for them to have been able to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I did get one pot which had like 5 ricochets off walls before it actually potted into the hole. So that gives you a mega bonus at the end of the level, because you've managed to achieve that. And then there are different levels have different sort of hidden objectives as well. Like there's like a bottle or sauce bottle or something in each level that's hidden, and you get a smash bonus if you actually do that. Or there's other sort of smash bonuses where, for example, on a level where there's paint, if you knock certain paint over, it'll splash onto pictures that are on the wall or sitting on the floor, leaned against the wall. And if you cover the picture with that, then you get a special sort of like photograph bonus for doing that secret hidden objective within that level as well. So there's lots of different things to do, and it gives that replayability, to be honest. And there's loads of different areas to actually go in. You can go into the same room several different times because you're doing different tournaments. But once you've completed those areas, you've done with those areas, as it were. You can only just improve your score then. But the idea is to go through all these different daft golf tournaments. What the example I was giving you about the paintbrush is another one. Very early when you start off, is you're in a room where there's a load of champagne flutes.
I remember that bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't get very far in this game. I got bored very quickly.
Yeah, well, what you got to do on that level is if you move the camera around when you first start, you'll see that there are champagne bottles lying on the side pointing at the champagne flutes. And if you do your shot so that you hit the champagne bottles, that bursts the corks, and the corks fire, and then they knock over the champagne flutes, and you get a bonus for doing that.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of different things in the game like that, so it's just quite enjoyable. And to be honest, it was £4.95 on the PlayStation Store, and I thought, I quite fancy having a go on it. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So, and isn't it by Criterion as well, if I remember rightly?
I think it is, yeah, because they gave us Crash mode in Burnout.
Burnout Paradise, in a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And wasn't it Burnout Revenge that was in there as well?
And there was one 360 title which was just called Crash, which was a top-down idea as well. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
Which, if that ever comes back to back compat, I own that game, so that would be good.
But actually, the developer was Three Fields Entertainment, sorry.
Okay.
But it was Criterion Games. It was formed by former Criterion Games founder and developers Fiona Sperry and Alex Ward. So it wasn't actually Criterion, but it was the founders of it who actually wrote the game. But I mean, it looks really nice as well. The environments are really well detailed. It's got good physics in it. There's nothing quite so satisfying as when you're watching this, tower of whatever, just very slowly gravity starts to take hold, and then all of a sudden it all comes crashing down and up in your bonus.
Yeah.
So
I might actually go back and have a look at that game.
I think you should, because it is actually quite entertaining, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I've got it on all formats now. But it's not a bad game. Not a bad game at all. Really enjoyed it. So, and cool. To be honest, that's really my gaming this week. Like I said, because I've been away, and most of the time I've been playing Destiny. I haven't had that much. I have done a bit of No Man's Sky. Not a great deal. I did actually think when I was away, shall I do a bit of No Man's Sky? And then I ended up not doing it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But, I ended up playing Destiny 2, which, my God, it was harder on my laptop. I'm all right when it's a normal keyboard, but when it's a laptop keyboard, it's not quite the same because you don't have the depth in the keys, as it were. So anyway, that's it from me for this for gaming this week.
Okay, if we put a close to that, and should we go on to movies, TV, and streaming?
Yep.
In quest of a better life.
Okay, so what we were talking about earlier with basically the heavens opening of joy and good to all who love Star Trek.
Yes.
The bombshell that dropped. Now, this weekend, it's been the convention at Las Vegas, which is one of the biggest ones I think they have all year round.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of panels as usual to do with the Star Trek Discovery. We've had a few trailers drop. All sorts of stuff's been going on. And then out of the blue, yesterday evening, Alex Kurtzman comes on stage. Now, if you don't know who he is, he was involved with Star Trek 2009, Into Darkness. He's been involved with Discovery. He's been behind J.J. Abrams for a lot of shows. Fringe he was involved in. Hawaii Five-0, Mission Impossible 3, loads of stuff. So he came on stage and he said, well, I've got some announcements to make, but I don't think I'm the right person to say it. So in the background there, you've got the Next Generation bay doors that open up. And they opened up and out walked Patrick Stewart to one amazing cheer. And he come on and just suddenly said that I've started to watch the show again. Just been sort of getting some ideas of how this is going to go. And just suddenly dropped into his conversation that I'm coming back in a new Star Trek TV show as Jean-Luc Picard. And if you've seen the video to this, you need to go and check this out.
Yes.
Oh my God. I think the roof was lifted off this building in Las Vegas. It was incredible. And I think there's been, I said, we knew there was rumours tickling around for this. But it's sort of, rumours are rumours, and we've seen this sort of thing over the years. But wow, 16 years after the announcement of the, from the last show to this one. What's your thoughts on it? Because I can't wait. I've really needed more Star Trek.
Yeah.
Me.
I mean, yeah, we need more Star Trek. My understanding is that it might not be the Jean-Luc Picard that we're used to, and he might not be the captain anymore.
Well, if it's going to be so many years after, 20 years plus or whatever it's going to be,
he'd have to be an admiral by then, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, exactly.
If he's even working.
The same way that when Kirk came out of being captain, didn't he? And he pushing the pen like most do.
Yeah.
Who knows? We know he's always wanted to have children. He never married.
Yeah.
Who knows what path they lead? But
we know where he'll end up. Being stepfather to Wesley, won't he?
Did you see Will Wheaton's tweet on Twitter that I posted?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
It said, "Oh my god, oh 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 my god." It was like forever. But I mean, whether or not this will open the door for some other characters, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, let's face it. Well, you could even have Brent Spiner on, couldn't you, as B4?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't be his Data, that's for sure.
Well, no, because he
Data
didn't.
Died.
The one that was left over from the movies
was B4.
Yeah, but you can't. I don't think you can have him unless you're going to really make the makeup, because androids don't age.
Well, actually, if you watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, it actually does say that, because they got around that because Brent Spiner was aging, and they said that there was a one line in either one of the movies or one of the shows that said that he is aging in terms of like artificially. But they were always trying to explain stuff in the show.
Well, you're trying to get
like they explained why Klingons had flat heads on the original series.
Oh, it's like Doctor Who or any other TV show. They got to try and get around some of this stuff they put in there, not realising that oh dear, how are we going to get around this one? But yeah. I think it's great that we're going to see another show. I'm assuming this is going to work the same way Discovery does.
Maybe not, because it might be a mini-series. That's one of the other things that I've heard on the grapevine as well. So it might not be a fully fledged show. It might just be 2 or 3 feature-length episodes.
Yeah, but I'd say nothing's been really given in it's not in black and white yet anyway, so this is all hearsay, but we'll wait and see. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, with the new Discovery show starting in January, I think.
Yeah.
So I think
I've got a theory, actually. I reckon he'll be the admiral in charge of the replicators that will be making Starfleet uniforms, because I think he'll turn around and say, "Make it so."
Oh, please. No, I'm going to move on, because that's dreadful. That is. Stick to your Christmas card ones and your crackers, all right? Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on. You're only jealous because you didn't think of that.
No,
you're going to be telling your wife that later.
No, I'm not. No, I am not. That is awful. Awful. Anyway, we'll move swiftly on then. I'll do the releases. Do you want to do the Blu-ray?
Yep, okay.
So, cinema releases from the 10th of August. We've got The Meg 2018, which we'll talk about in a minute. Unfriended, The Dark Web. We have The Darkest Minds, Beirut, Dog Days, I Can Only Imagine, The Domestics and Under the Tree. So the only one I know is The Meg. Have you seen about that?
No.
It's about a giant shark.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
And I don't care what you say, that could be fun. I think it could be quite interesting. I know there's another Sharknado coming out. But this looks a good bit of fun, actually. Just it's one of those films where you park your brain and enjoy the movie.
Yeah, well, most shark brain movies are, aren't they? Really.
But I think is this? I'm trying to remember. Is this Dwayne Johnson that's in this? If I remember rightly? Am I wrong?
Is it Dwayne Johnson or is it Jason Statham?
No, it's Jason Statham. Sorry, they're just as good as each other. Yeah, so yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a rock, but
no, might as well be. So, anything tickles your fancy in the old Blu-ray department?
Oh, yes. Yes, there are a few.
I can see two at
good
least.
Movies. No, and there are several, actually. This week is actually quite a good week. So, from the August the 6th, it's a classic movie, but a Burt Lancaster one, The Birdman of Alcatraz, is released on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
You're a bit young for that one, aren't you? Or not?
I am a bit young for it, but I know that we have listeners who are older than what I am, so, you know...
You mean me?
Well, yeah, ancient one.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought it might be one that, you know, fans of Burt Lancaster might have. There is Death Wish, 18 certificate uncut, Blu-ray and DVD. This
is a remake of the Charles Bronson movie, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
the remake is, or...
No, the original is fantastic. The Charles Bronson...
Wasn't this Death Wish the one with Bruce Willis?
This is, yes. This is the remake of the Charles Bronson movie.
Yeah.
Which has even got... It's got a very young certain actor that was in an Independence Day and Jurassic Park. And he is skinny as hell in that.
Oh, Sam Jones? No.
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Come on. He did The Fly as well.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. He plays one of the punk kids that gets involved with raping his wife when they break into the house. I
must admit I didn't know that, but to be honest, I was never really much of a fan of the Death Wish movies.
No, I think it's very gritty.
Yeah.
And it's just for the time that it was out, very much the way society was then and the idea of it. It's a really good film.
Yeah,
I thoroughly recommend the original. I will see this version, but I will always say that the original's the best. But you know,
yeah. Next one is Flesh and Blood, which is a Blu-ray release for the old Rutger Hauer movie. If you remember that one.
I don't, actually.
It's all, you know, like knights and whatever, and Rutger Hauer's sort of like a hired hand who's got his own entourage, and he makes himself the lord of this castle by going in, invading and killing it. There's lots of violence, not lots of sex, lots of nudity in this film, from what I remember of it, but it was quite a good story as well. Another one is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. So anybody who likes those ones, that's out as well. We've got Predator 4K.
That I'm interested in.
And the Predator Trilogy 4K as well.
No, just the first film, I think, to be honest.
And also the one that I think we're both going to probably be going down to the store tomorrow and buying is Ready Player One on Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray, and 4K Blu-ray and DVD.
Yes, very much interested. I do love this movie, and it's going to have a few more replays for me, just to spot all those bits in the movie I missed the first time round, I think.
I think that you'll be there for years doing that, to be honest. We hid so much in there.
Yeah.
There is also the Death of Superman Blu-ray and DVD, which I think is the... sort of like cartoon version of the comic strip, you know, that shows us Death of Superman, and thinking back to, you know, the old style Hulk. There is also the Death of the Incredible Hulk as well on DVD. It's been re-released again.
Is that the live action one?
Yeah, that's a live action one. That's not the it's not the the Marvel sort of orientation version of it.
That's Bill Bixby version.
Bill Bixby version, yeah. And also, now this is one, I'm putting this in because it's a bit of a rom-com that you're probably quite, it might be alright to watch with the wife. The Truth About Cats and Dogs, which is an Uma Thurman comedy. And
I'm trying to remember what this one is, actually.
She's the friend of like a small, more dumpy woman who meets someone online or something, and she's given a friend's like photograph over, and then he ends up wanting to meet her, and she tags along as her friend, as it were.
Okay.
And and it's just like a romance story about that, but it's quite a good comedy because obviously her friend, who is pretending to be her, also falls for the guy as well, so it's got this.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is in it as well.
Yeah.
Just going through the cast list, yeah. Actually, I have a bit of a soft spot for Uma Thurman, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I know you do, so that's why I thought I'd point it out as well, because I thought it would be one that you'd want to watch with your missus.
I like the superhero one that she did.
Yes. Yeah, that was funny.
Throwing a shark in someone's lounge isn't easy, but there you go. But, I might be, I'll keep an eye out for that on some other avenue to pick it up.
Yep.
Okay, cinema charts. Now, this is interesting.
It is.
So, now, because you've got them so small, I'll have to move closer. Okay. So, number 5, Andre Rieu's 2017. Which one's this? Is this a concert you've got
Maastricht concert, yeah.
Okay.
So, a lot of the cinemas nowadays are doing this cinema live thing where it's a live broadcast of an event like Andre Rieu or like the one that I had tickets to go to, which he ended up not being able to go to.
Unusual.
So, yeah, it's unusual for that to be in the charts. It just goes to prove how much rubbish there is in the charts at the moment, I think.
No, because I remember there's some other bigger bands in the UK that have done this as well. So this idea.
But it's not only bands; it can be, like Swan Lake or whatever. There's all sorts of events that they're doing in cinemas now. And to be honest, it makes sense, really, because it just means that these stage productions, which cost an awful lot to get, to do, and they have a limited seating capacity, so they're not going. Their return on investment is a lot lower than what other film is. I mean, obviously the production value is not going to be as much as well, but it allows them to generate a lot more money. Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's a good idea because it means that something, it could be a concert in Germany and you're in America and you can watch it.
Yeah. So, number 4 then is Hotel Transylvania 3. Okay. Incredibles 2 slips down to number 3. Mamma Mia, here we go again. Oh no, not as far as I'm concerned. Number 2. And the number 1 movie, of course, is Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to ask you, have you seen James Corden skydiving with Tom Cruise?
No, because as soon as I hear James Corden's voice, I find him immediately annoying and want to destroy what he's on.
No, honestly, no. Don't give this a time of day because it is so funny.
And unless he ends up splatting on the ground at the end.
Don't be such an arsehole. Honestly, it is really. I know you don't like him, but
I can't. No, seriously. When there's some people who, when you listen to them, you just cringe, and he's one of them now. I just really. I used to love him as Smithy in, Gavin and Stacey. I thought he was brilliant, but since he's gone over to America,
I think he's done really well, to be honest. Personally, I think he's really made a name for himself there, and it's gone well.
Do you know what? I'll be honest. I'm really pleased for him that he's done it, but I just think he comes across as so arrogant, and I really cannot stand him.
Well, I think that's how Americans are. He's what's the word? He's baying down to the American public and how they see their presenters.
Yeah, well, I don't think he should do that when he comes over here, because he doesn't carry the same.
Well, anyway, not you then. Anyone else, check out his skydive with Tom Cruise. And I love Tom Cruise, he's brilliant. He can't put a foot wrong for me. And getting him to go and do the skydive was absolutely hilarious. Well worth a watch. It's out there it's out there in Facebook or so, wherever. Just Google it and you're bound to find it.
Yeah, I saw a clip of it because it was, it was on Facebook.
But it is for his TV show that he does. It's about 10 minutes long. It's quite and Tom Cruise, he loves to join in those sort of, he's such a lad, that guy, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and also on this, the Mission Impossible Fallout, because he does a lot of his own stunts.
Yeah,
there is one jump where he actually broke his leg.
Yeah.
Or broke his ankle, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he still carried on running after the jump. And even though when you actually look at a freeze frame of him landing on the side of this building, you can see his foot is at a completely unnatural angle. But yet, because he had to have it in one take, he then ran on his leg.
He's such a perfectionist, that guy, isn't he?
He is. But then again, if someone turned around to you and say, right, you're going to go and get paid 28 million quid to do this movie, but you're going to break your leg and you have to run for like 3 steps on that leg, would you do it for 28 million? I think I probably would.
Yeah. But no, I have a man crush for Tom Cruise personally, if you know what I mean. He's great. He doesn't put a foot wrong for me. And I can't wait to see what they do for Top Gun.
Evidently, female pilot.
We'll see it. Wait and see on that, yeah.
No, from what I've read, evidently the new Maverick is a female.
Yeah, well, we've read that a lot recently. But,
well, we'll just be wiped out, come a couple of generations. Soon as they identify how to impregnate women without the need for males, then I think that men will go out the window.
Anyhow, do you want to do the DVD charts?
Yep, the DVD charts. So at number 5, up from number 12, we've got Thor Ragnarok. Number 4, down from 3, we've got Black Panther. Down from 2 to number 3 is The Greatest Showman. Down from number 1 is Tomb Raider at number 2. And then at number 1 is Peter Rabbit. Yeah. James Corden again. But he's everywhere.
But that's for the kids. I think they all love that. So,
Yeah.
Keeps them occupied. I'll probably watch it when it comes to Sky. I'll have a look at it, see what it's all about, But, so one there, The Greatest Showman. That's in your little list again. What are you like watching musicals, eh?
Do you know what? I normally don't like musicals as well. Should we go straight on to that then, since you've done that segue?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Blow your own trumpet on this one, because I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I think if you watch this, you would change your mind.
Well, I will, when it comes on Sky, I will have a look at it. I'll give
especially with some of the stuff that especially considering of your love for soundtracks for movies.
Yeah.
Because, I watched it last week and I talked about it last week.
Yeah.
I'm watching it again because, I said to my wife, well, I bought this. And she said, well, can we watch it? I said, yeah, okay. And I put it on and I studied it more this time. And we immediately watched the extras after it. So it went into how they created all of the songs.
It's funny, that's not the sort of thing you normally do, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. And this is telling you something about this film. The fact that it's a musical. I have watched it twice in 2 weeks, and I've also watched the extras on this. Doesn't it tell you something about the quality of this film?
Possibly, because I can't say yet. I can't give a yeah or nay to it as yet. But yeah,
and plus the fact it's Hugh Jackman, and my version of your Tom Cruise crush is Hugh Jackman.
Okay, then, yeah, it's fair enough.
I love Hugh Jackman. I think he's great in everything. I think he's a very much underrated actor. And, ranging from X-Men to things like, he's been in, I know it's not the greatest movie, but Australia, The Prestige, The Greatest Showman, Les Miserables.
Come on, keep going. It's one of my favourites you haven't even mentioned yet.
Which one?
Well, obviously, The Prestige is a brilliant, brilliant one. I recommend that highly if you've not seen it.
Yeah.
But also, I love Van Helsing.
Oh, yeah, Van Helsing, yeah.
I need to have that on 4K, actually. I need I need to get a copy of that. But I just love that movie as well. Brilliant film.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
So, yeah, I've watched it again, and the music on it, it's just so... It's not the Mamma Mia sort of movie.
No.
For a start off, let's put it that way. And it's like, it's quite modern music, and the way that they do things in terms of it, you know, the music is perfectly formed to the film. I mean, you know, there are loads of songs that are on there. Zac Efron, he's absolutely superb in it as well. You know, because it's, you know, he's the other big star that's in there.
Yeah.
Just getting up a list of all of the actual songs that are in it. So, you know, The Greatest Showman, or The Greatest Show, which is the song that they start off with.
Yeah.
The way that sort of like starts off is it's got this, the effect that it makes you immediately listen to this. You know, because normally when you got musicals, it's sort of like either like Dancing Queen or, you know, with Mamma Mia, or it's, you know, something like Les Miserables where it's quite operatic, or it's the time, you know, it's like, you know, Rocky Horror Show sort of music.
Yeah.
This, it starts off with, you know, like this, whoa, 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 boom, and then there's a pause and no sound, and it immediately makes you watch it. And then it goes on to Hugh Jackman, you know, their pose, you know, doing this like quite stylized sort of like dance pose. Yeah. And then saying something very quiet, and then it does it again, and it, you know, it goes on to that, and then it just builds up until it starts going into the main, you know, the main song. But there are some fantastic songs in this. There's one song that is just played as a song because the story is that he goes off, you know, he recruits this woman to you know, to do a proper show, because he's in you know, when he's done all of the you know, this freaky show sort of thing, because it's got like the bearded lady and the tattooed man and the wolf boy and all of that, because he's yearning for acceptance from society. He then goes into getting this like classic singer, and the woman who he recruits does the only real standalone singing as a song in the whole movie, which is Never Enough, and she's got a fantastic voice, absolutely fantastic. But you know, some of the other ones that are on there, you know, like A Million Dreams, which is Hugh Jackman singing, which is really good. Come Alive, which again, Hugh Jackman singing. And The Other Side, which is where him and Zac Efron start building up their relationship in the movie, and it's about Hugh Jackman recruiting him to come and join with him. And then there's this one song that is really, really powerful, and when you watch the extras, you just get a whole new appreciation for this song, because this is a song where it's called This Is Me, and it's about basically these people who are considered freaks by society, you know, like the bearded woman and, you know, the tallest man, wolf boy, all that.
Yeah.
It's about their song when they say "This is me" to everybody who's there, because people are like looking at them funnily and stuff like that. And there's this one woman, and, you know, she's an overweight woman, you know, and so probably, you know what it's like when you're overweight, you get ridiculed by people in society, and everybody's always telling you about the fact that you shouldn't be overweight or whatever. And she's a woman who actually sings it in the movie. And the whole This Is Me song, you can tell when you watch the extras and the movie, that song really means something to her in the way that she's delivering it, and it comes across in the movie. And I think that this is the thing about this film, is the whole thing, you know, the two guys, and they're only young, they must be in like the late 20s, early 30s at the most, who have wrote the music for this. You know, they're so incredibly talented. And when you actually listen to them, you know, it shows you clips of them doing the trials of the songs, you know, where it's like a concept, and they've hit it, you know, just absolutely perfectly, and that's translated straight onto screen. And it's a fantastic thing to actually watch, especially if you watch the film and then you watch the extras and you go back and think, my God, that was really so close. You know, so yeah, this is one of those films that I thought everybody's going on about this film as if it's so fantastic, and it, you know, it's just a musical, not bothered about it. And this is quite possibly my movie of the year, to be honest, so far. Okay. I am really surprised. This is a movie that I bought because I thought it was something that my wife would like, and I've ended up loving it. It's really, really weird. And I can't quite explain it. So, yeah, so I've watched that again this week.
Okay.
Sorry about gushing over it, but it is
it's all right.
movie.
No, you can gush over whatever you want, pal.
Yeah. Shall I do my other ones and then go on? Yeah. You've only got one, haven't you?
Yeah, go on.
So, the other thing that I've been watching this week is going back to the 70s, flares in space, as it were. I picked up Space 1999, the complete series on Blu-ray. Yeah,
how are you finding that? Is it holding up? Because it's very ancient, as in the style of sci-fi, isn't it? So the same way that UFO comes across, it's not for everyone, but those that have watched it originally will probably get a lot of love from it still.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually quite funny, really, because in terms of it as a show, it's incredibly advanced and yet incredibly retro at the same time. If you know what I mean, because there's so many ideas in there that are really quite good. I mean, to be honest, to this day, when I look at Space 1999 and the Eagles, and the way that Moonbase Alpha looked, to me, that was going to be our future if we'd have kept going to the moon. Do you know what I mean? It's how I think NASA would have looked in 20, 30 years' time if they'd have built it up. You know, and we'd have actually established a moon base. I think that sort of stuff that's on there. But then the incredibly ludicrous idea that a magnetic explosion propels the moon, you know, a magnetic explosion from nuclear waste propels the moon through interstellar space at a speed fast enough to escape the pull of the sun and get to distant planets every week. But yet slow enough to allow a conventional spacecraft to be able to fly faster than it and then catch back up with it before it gets out of range. It just doesn't make sense at all. So it's sort of like, you know, that's kind of like the retro, not really bothering about the science, you know, we'll just say it's radiation and that'll do sort of thing. So, and, you know, things like the computer where there's one guy and it's sort of like lifted out of, well, I think actually this is probably where Galaxy Quest got the idea with Sigourney Weaver's part about ask the computer, and that was her job. There's one guy who has to ask the computer things, you know, on Space 1999. And it's just, so things like that, it's just, you know, if it was any more cheesy, I'd be having Jacob's crackers with it.
Oh, you would be, because it's very Gorgonzola.
Yeah. But I love the uniforms for the time. You know, they're I think they're quite reminiscent of the first Star Trek movie.
Yeah, I know
in terms of the sort of style. Yeah. You know, the similar kind of design. And, you know, I mean, it's all practical effects. There's no CGI because CGI didn't exist then.
No.
And in that respect, considering this was a weekly TV series, I think they've done really well. So, and I also have great love for this show because it was one that was, part of my staple diet of, sci-fi. When I was a kid, it was Space 1999, Star Trek, all of those sort of ones.
Mm.
So just re-looking at it in HD as well, which is great.
Is the transfer okay, is it?
Yeah, transfer is absolutely fine in HD. No problem. I mean, obviously it's a 4:3 rather than
yeah, that's a shame for some of this stuff.
9.
You'd love to have it widescreen, wouldn't you?
You would, but evidently one of the reasons why the Next Generation wasn't recast into widescreen is because nobody thought that they would ever use that, and so it cost too much money to remove things like people and the edges of sets and stuff like that when they remastered the Next Generation, which is a bit of a shame that they didn't do it, really.
Yeah, because otherwise you do it with your TV, you end up with a fat Picard.
Yeah.
But no, I do have fond memories of watching Space 1999.
Yeah, well, and this is what I love as well, because I only paid £17 something for the complete series. So that's 2 series. I'm going to take my DVD version to Sex this week, and I'll end up with about £1.50 profit for what I paid for it.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? So it's actually cost me less money to upgrade the quality of a show that I already had.
Yeah,
I'm now got my sights on UFO.
Well, I've got the DVD box set of the UFO anyway, so I wouldn't mind having a transfer.
Yeah, I've got the UFO on DVD as well, but I would like it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
You might as well have the best quality you can, because to be honest, on 4K TVs, DVDs look not very good.
Dreadful, I think is the word these days, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's, when you think about how quality has gone from the days when we used to have VHS videos where the tape heads would be stretching and the film, for the top 3 inches of the screen would be like at 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Do you remember those days? And then you'd get bits where you left it on pause for too long and it'd wipe the tape.
Oh, the grainy picture, the wobbly bits in it. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
People
the tape had stretched and it was go back up.
People don't realise what they're missing on VHS.
No.
I think they're lucky to get what they get nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And especially when you look at 4K, my God, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
When you get a proper 4K movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Must admit, when I watched the Justice League, that was in Sky's UHD.
Mm-hmm.
Still looked lovely, you must admit. And I know Zack Snyder's had his problems with this movie. We've got the hair lip with the moustache, which I didn't even notice, to be honest, any difference there. A good bit of CGI helps, I think, for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
The story does jump around in places a little bit. There's bits missing, which I'm still hearing that they want to give us a director's cut at some point, which I would like to see. And yeah, my downer on that is Cyborg. He's not much really. Bit of a moper, I think, in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Flash, I think my missus agreed with me. She says, "That's not Barry Allen." I said to her, she enjoyed it. I said, what was your thoughts? She said, yeah, I'd rather have Barry Allen from the TV show.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did all right, but it was a different Flash. But what you've got to remember, the difference between Marvel and DC is that for Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and all of those ones are all in the same universe. Whereas when you come to DC, they're all separate universes.
Yeah, I know. But apart from that, I mean, he was all right. He sometimes a bit too comical, because that was where the comedy came into play.
Well, he was the comic relief for the show, wasn't the film, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I do love The Flash as The Flash is. And, I enjoyed it for what the movie was. I enjoyed it. I mean, Aquaman, he's getting his own movie soon.
Yeah. Well, they all are, aren't they, supposedly?
Well, we know Wonder Woman's got the 1984 movie, which is her next step. Batman is a bit of a dark story. We don't know what's really happening with that yet. It's
I'd heard there was going to be another one.
Yeah, but we've not got a lot of details on that at the moment.
Well, to be honest, I'm wondering whether or not he will actually continue in that role. To be honest, because I think it's between him and the guy who plays Loki. You know, Tom Hiddleston. About being Bond next.
Yeah,
I think that if you had to do any things, I think it's going to be between those two. To be honest, and I'm now starting to feel it's probably going to be Superman who's going to be doing it. What's his name?
Henry
Cavill.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be doing it rather than, you know, but although Hiddleston's actually been in talks with, the Eon Productions, hasn't he?
Yeah, Eon, yeah. But overall, I love this. I think there's quite a few people that do like this movie. There's a lot of people that give it a bit of hate. But it's great. It's great to see. And I loved every minute of it. Time flew by with this film so quickly. I couldn't believe it. Which doesn't, sometimes, you know, you get a movie which seems to drag its heels. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Superman, I think, could have come in a bit earlier, but I saw how the way that was going to work, and I probably guessed that anyway, on how he would come into play. And I just love, there's one line there where Superman's come back to life, and he's trying to have his thoughts. Well, the four of them there are sort of having a bit of a battle with him. And the Flash says, "It's Pet Cemetery all over again." Oh, that did make me laugh. That was a classic line. That I loved it.
There were some good lines in it, to be fair.
Yeah, and if you don't know what I'm on about, Pet Cemetery is a Stephen King movie where their dead cat dies, and they bring the cat back to life in the cemetery, and they do the same to their little kid, and he comes back as evil. So that's the way this was going. But yeah. I actually wouldn't mind owning this film, actually, as well, to be honest. I
have to admit, I do own it, but I only bought it on normal Blu-ray. I didn't get it 4K.
Because I think I'd like to have Batman vs Superman as well, because I put these two together as one film, to be honest.
Yeah, sort of like part 2.
Yeah, yeah, and I say Gal Gadot, she's great. The scenes going back to Amazonians when that dude took the first box, that was all great, you know. Very, very well done. There's lots of CGI in there, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it's now to watch on Sky in UHD, so if you got that, you can go and download it and watch it to your heart's content.
As long as you got Sky Q.
Yeah, Sky Q, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, swiftly moving on, because I'm getting really hungry here. Do you want to have a quick talk about your Scuff grips at all? Do you want to mention that more?
Well, we've missed out a movie.
Did we? What was that?
The Giver.
Go on then.
I watched this on Netflix.
Yeah.
And basically, it's quite a good future dystopian sci-fi. Following the ruin of society, following an event called The Ruin, society is organised into different communities, and all memories of the past are held by one person who's known as the receiver of memory. He advises the chief elders and other elders of the community to ensure that, you know, what happened in the past doesn't happen again. Jonas, who's a 16-year-old boy, who is very anxious, like everybody else, to know what he's going to be doing when he grows older, is basically assigned to become the next keeper of memory, which means that he has to live through all of these different memories, which are, you know, good things like, you know, becoming a parent, you know, the birth of a child, you know, enjoying going down a slide, you know, down on a sledge, you know, down a hill, you know, snow-covered hill or whatever, to seeing your best friend being shot in the middle of a jungle in a war. You know, and also killing animals and destroying the planet and that sort of thing. So it's got quite a strong message to give, as this movie.
Yeah.
And that's basically where, receiving all of these memories, he realises that there is something the matter with society, and that as people, that they've lost something, and that's where, you know, like, the story progresses.
I think I remember the actual. I remember when this was actually when this came out, because I was watching. Might have been the top 10, 20 on Sky, and they were talking to Jeff Bridges over it and Meryl Streep. Yeah. So I do. This is very much a teenager's movie, isn't it? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. To be quite honest, no? I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's got Jeff Bridges. He's the giver, so he was the keeper of memory, and he's now giving the memories to Jonas. And Meryl Streep is the chief elder. Yeah. And what's really good about this film is the film starts in black and white, very much like Society. You know, so there's you don't use the word love. You explain how you feel. Yeah. Yeah. And as Jonas receives more memories, colour is slowly introduced into the scenes where he's in, until eventually it's full colour, so that, you know, basically he's back to being a normal human. So much like other films like Equilibrium, emotions are controlled by people have a daily injection. Yeah. For example. And I just thought it was such a lovely way of doing it. Is, you know, the first bit of colour you get is this red, and the red is brought in because he gets some vision because of something red that happens in that vision, and, you know, then he starts seeing red, and colour slowly comes in this way. Really, really well done. Do you think, does it put off the movie at all in any shape or form for having that black and white in it? No, because that is part of the story. Right. You know, because that shows you where he is. So it's like, you know where he's like, he hasn't got a complete picture because not everything is in colour. But yeah, because you're talking, I think the first 23 minutes of that film's in colour by the looks of it, from what I can gather. Yeah, in black and white. Black and white, sorry, yeah. Yeah, it's a long time in black and white. It was, because at first I thought, have I got the right movie? Have I clicked on a wrong link? Have I clicked on an alternate version? Is there something the matter with my monitor? You know, and I thought, no, because the Netflix thing's still red, so I can't see there's nothing the matter with my monitor.
I'll have to look up Netflix and put this on my list to watch.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, to be honest.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that as we speak. So I've got the app open here. Here we go. There it is there.
Nothing like live radio, folks.
Add to my list. There you go, done and dusted.
Okay, well, brilliant. I hope you enjoy that. Let us know what you think.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I did want to just touch on one thing, because I have been speaking to the people who've been arranging the Comic-Con event in Scotland. And they have asked if we just, give it a bit of a mentioning in terms of what's going on. So, basically, in Scotland on the 10th and 11th of November, if I remember the date rightly.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, you got it right.
There is a Comic-Con event in Edinburgh at the International Conference Centre. There are going to be guests, and for people of our age, it's all 80s focused. So there is going to be David Hasselhoff and Kit. I love the Hoff, so I'm really quite looking forward to that.
I would, hopefully, yeah, he's so cool. I do like him.
Yeah. Dirk Benedict from the A-Team and Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. More Battlestar Galactica numerized because there's Jack Strofer and Herbert Jefferson Jr. Obviously, Herbert Jefferson Jr. is the one who played Boomer on the original. Yes. We've got Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, the TV programme from the 70s and 80s. Gil Gerard is on there. We've got Doctor Who from Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldrin. So that's the Doctor and Ace, if you remember those. Mm-hmm. Ghostbusters has got some good people as well. Ray Parker Jr. is going to be there. Who are you going to call? Well, obviously Ray Parker Jr. These people did. Ernie Hudson, who was the black guy, in the crew. Yeah. And if you remember the ginger-haired sort of like, council person or, city council person, William Atherton is going to be there as well. There is going to be Mike Quinn there, who played Nien Nunb from Star Wars. Yep. So that was from The Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. There is going to be Zach Gallagher and Gizmo. I know him, yeah. Yeah, from Gremlins. Yep. What I really want to meet, Sam Jones, as in Flash. Flash.
Because he was in Ted. Do you remember that? He
was indeed.
That
yeah,
was so funny. That
he was. Our Hulk. You know, the person who we really think of Hulk, Laurie Ferrigno.
Yeah, Ferrigno.
He's going to be there as well. Bret the Hitman Hart is going to be there. He's revered and described as the excellence of execution, evidently. Mm-hmm. I can't remember him, to be honest. He's another one, a great show back in the day. Rex Smith from Street Hawk. Remember that one?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah, well, Street Hawk was like the Knight Rider of not the Airwolf of motorbikes.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of like a motorbike version of Knight Rider or Airwolf.
Yeah.
So he was a guy who was the main star on that. And then there's going to be a snooker special as well. So there's going to be Willie Thorne and Dennis Taylor as well.
What are they to do with, eh?
I have no idea, but they're going to be there.
You'll have Snoopy singing Snooker Loopy next.
And then there's Des O'Gorman, who's going to be the stage host as well, if you've ever heard of him. He's a mega nerd comedian, actor, and singer, evidently. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be hosting that as well. So, and hopefully we'll be there.
Yes, any luck?
With any luck. So anybody who's going, you'll have to give us a tap up when we actually get there, but we'll confirm whether or not we're going later on. But so I'm quite looking forward to that as an event, I think. Because I've actually got a prototype for a Pop Culture Gamers t-shirt ordered, because I am going to Insomnia 63 as well. So
yeah, you're going
to
have to let me know so I can pick one up and actually have one for roaming around town in Christchurch.
Yeah. Well, might as well get advertising where we can.
Exactly, absolutely.
So, quite looking forward to that. Anyway, shall we move on to Tech Talk?
Yes, please. I'm sweltering in this room at the moment. There's no window open.
Yeah, me too.
From the laboratories of...
Off you go, then.
Okay, so not a lot to talk about tech-wise, to be honest, but really what I wanted to do was just let you know about the Scuff Gaming Xbox Elite rubber grips and sticks, which is an upgrade for your Xbox One Elite controller.
When it breaks,
because especially in this weather with the heat, it's eventually that rubber's going to, or glue's going to destabilise, and then no longer grip. So I picked one of these kits up. It was £23.99, which is quite expensive because there's not a lot in the box really. But in terms of when you consider that the alternative is to pay 120 quid for a new controller, it makes it suddenly quite viable in terms of cost. I am going to be putting on a YouTube video about showing the product and in terms of, how to fit it as well, and, basically how it feels. It is a really, really simple process to do. Basically, the rubber grips that are on the outside edge, not the inside of your Elite controller, so the bits where your fingers touch, but more the palm of your hand sort of bit. Those bits are just literally clip on, and then you just get a prizing tool which comes with it. You prize it off, and then it comes with a couple of 3M strips of double-sided tape. You put one on each side, and then you just literally get the Scuff grip and clip it back on. And then that's it. It's done. Really, really easy to do. I think the most nerve-wracking thing is having that courage to go crack on your controller,
right?
Which is what I probably struggled with the first time, because I was like doing it gingerly, just trying to lift it off, gently prise it.
Yeah.
And then eventually I thought, this is taking too long, and I went crack. And that was it. It just came off straight away. And then the second one, it probably took me about a tenth of the time it took me for the first. Because I thought, right, now I know how much, cause you know what, when you got something like that and you're doing any form of operation on it, you don't want to, overly cook the books with it. Do you know what I mean? You don't want, you don't want to go too heavy handed, because if you break it, that's it. And that's what I was sort of struggling with. especially trying to do it on camera, and ended up in the end, I took it off camera and did it because I thought I need to hold on to it and do the grip. I should have taken out the batteries out of my controller as well because the Xbox came on halfway through, which was quite amusing. But, yeah, it's all that you do. The grips themselves that you put back on, they are like a polished rubber.
Okay.
Sort of feel. They feel quite natural, and they've got the Scuff logo, pattern all over them, as well. So it does actually feel like it's gripping in your hand. It is a very slightly different shape to the Xbox One. So to a point that you actually notice it, because there are sort of like bumps that are designed to more fit to keep your hand a little bit stiller.
Right.
Very, very subtle, only like a couple of millimetres, but enough for you to be able to notice a difference in the way that it feels in your hand. And you can get it with just the grips, but I got it with 6 different sticks as well. So these come with this came with the Scuff replaceable sticks for the Xbox One Elite controller. Because, as you know, you can lift that off, it's magnetised, and then you can just pop another one on the top. Because I just felt my sticks were starting to feel a bit, because of the amount of use that they've had, a little bit worn.
Just to say that,
yeah. Considering the hundreds and hundreds of hours that it's subjected to, I'm not surprised. But that's the whole point of these sticks, is that you can get new ones and put on. And this is one of the packs that you can do that with. So I tried those, and this is what I don't understand, and this is where I think it's probably a bad choice in terms of what they've done, is they give you 6 sticks, 3 pairs at different lengths.
Yeah.
So you get the very small, the medium, and the large. Now, the medium is slightly larger than the Xbox medium, which is what I use most of the time. But what is really stupid, in my opinion, is that they've given you 1 concave and 1 convex.
Right.
So you got 1 domed and 1 pitted
with a dent in it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, personally, I prefer the ones where you can, you put your thumb in there and then it hugs around your thumb, rather than you got a dome that's under your thumb, because basically of the old PS3 days and the DualShock 3 controller, and the fact that the amount of times I was playing a game and I would lose a life because my thumb slipped off the edge because there was nothing to grip onto.
Yeah.
However, what I will say is, after a few hours of playtesting this, your thumb doesn't actually move on it, because although the grip part of it is the Scuff logo again, your thumb doesn't actually move off there. But what I've done, and I think that this is what a lot of people won't do, is I've put the dome on my left thumb and the pit on my right thumb. Because most of the time when you look at, every time I've looked at, the other people who've used them, they've always put the dome on the right thumb. Now, to me, that's the one where you need a bit more control, is your right thumb, because that's your look, that, or things like that. But also, that's the one where your thumb is actually leaving that stick and going to the buttons and then coming back, whereas your left thumb tends not to move as much, because, you don't use a D-pad half as much on games. And it's worked really well. From what I've done, I get good control on it. The tall sticks feel very tall on there. But still, nevertheless, it's nice to have that option. But what I'll do is, what I've done is I've done the video, so I'll show everybody, I'll put a link on Facebook and also on YouTube, so that on Twitter, so people can see it. As well. But it's a really, really easy repair to your Elite controller.
Yeah, cool.
So
I mean, I'm okay with what I've got at the minute, how it works. Might change it at some point, but it does work with what I've used to cover the whole controller and the grip of that. I'm quite happy at the moment.
Well, if you see this, you might actually change your mind and decide actually this might be something that you want to actually invest in. Because I know it's quite expensive, but it does feel really nice, actually, to be fair.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well is if you've got a chat pad, it doesn't interfere with that.
Okay.
There was something missing.
Debate time. We were going to have a debate, but we're not now, are we? Because we're going to tidy up some 101s.
Yes, because we did get 5. So I've actually dug out, well, those ones that we missed last time, just basically because we didn't have enough time to do it all.
Okay. Do you want to read the first one out then, quickly?
All right, then. So Tom Warren said he would like to put the gaming model of focus on multiplayer into Room 101. He loves single-player stories and fear that in about another 20 years that the single-player story will be gone.
I disagree. I disagree because multiplayer is still a major part of gaming. That's the whole idea of gaming in the first place, with the days of having your LAN parties and everything else. I love single player, and the idea of that, yep, I totally agree. But I think multiplayer has its place still.
Do you think that game producers are actually focusing that much on multiplayer? And they're completely ignoring the single player.
We did have a few years where suddenly every single player story that had a single player story, let's bolt multiplayer onto it and see if we can get some extra life out of it. But that didn't always work.
Well, look at Tomb Raider as an example.
No, and BioShock as well. It wasn't the best.
No, it wasn't.
And they were basically great single player story games.
Yes.
If you want multiplayer, you've got your Call of Duties, haven't you? You've got your Destinies, Halos, all these sort of games that are built on multiplayer in the first place. That's what they're there for.
Well, look at actually now you brought it up, Call of Duty. Call of Duty's not going to have a single player campaign this year. No,
that'd be interesting to see how that pans out overall.
Mm.
But we'll have to wait and see how that works. I'm thinking it's going to probably it will stay as it is for now. They got the zombie mode in there, which is basically going to be a sort of a single player idea, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I quite like the zombie mode. And talking of Chris earlier on, obviously Chris used to be a member of our fire team before he went away and had a child. Well, not him literally, but his wife. And, I had a game on Call of Duty, a few games on Call of Duty Infinite zombie mode. That was great fun, because that was in a park, or a cinema sort of thing. Was it cinema or a park? I can't remember, but you had to go around this amusement park, unlocking different areas, just like you do in all of the other ones. You always have to end up unlocking an area. But God, it got really hard. By the time we were hitting level 10 or 11, all of us, even being, experienced COD players, and when you actually look at, people like Chris, who's been playing it for hours and hours, it's, it does get incredibly hard very, very quickly. So, and, I love that, but I'm with you. I don't think you can actually put on its own multiplayer into Room 101 for the simple reason that actually our friendship grew out of multiplayer gaming through Destiny.
Yeah.
Because that was how we became the friends that we are.
And I think that is for a lot of people as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stories out there. And what about all the couples who have actually met up and married?
Exactly, yeah.
Either virtually or in reality. No, I don't think I'm completely with Tom in terms of I don't want to get rid of single player. I love single player campaigns. I don't want a forced multiplayer campaign. Game. I don't want it being forced on us, like the examples that we gave, like the Tomb Raider and whatever, because they just didn't work. The one that was sort of like forced into a franchise more than any other that worked for me was the Assassin's Creed one.
Yeah.
Did you play that one?
Yes, I did. I did with a certain person I remember. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and that used to be great fun, actually, from what I remember of it. But I think that's more to do with the nature of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I had some good fun with that as well.
Yeah, I did. So I think that there are good examples out there. But I don't want to see the end of games like God of War, the new God of War, because that was such a brilliant game in terms of what it was.
Yeah. Because I've had some good time on multiplayer. I mean, not every game works.
No.
There's a time then when it gets a bit quiet when you don't do any multiplayer at all, and you're thinking, what have I got Xbox Live for? Do you know what I mean? But no, basically, it's not going in 101 for me. Full stop.
No, I agree, but I'll tell you one thing as well. Single-player gaming definitely isn't going in Room 101 because we need that. We definitely need that more than anything else. That is the core, that's the bread and butter part of gaming.
That's what gaming is all about. That's how it all started originally in the first place. We didn't have internet. We had single-player stuff. Yeah,
if you wanted multiplayer, you sat next to somebody that you knew. Yeah. Normally your dad, who was useless at games. How things have changed, because I think back in the day I used to remember my parents were so easy to beat on games, and now when I look at Adam and he struggles so much to just compete, I'm quite sure in another 5 years when he's 16, I'll be thinking, oh my god, how am I going to keep up the pretense that I'm actually a better gamer than him now?
Yeah. Alan Kelkran has asked us to put fanboys in Room 101.
Yeah.
And that's everyone that's listening to this right now. So I don't know how you want to play that one.
Well, I think that in terms of fanboys, I think that what he's referring to is the sort of people who have a very blinkered view.
It's closed-minded view, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Those sort of ones that say that, Nintendo's for kids.
Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. Nintendo is for kids, I tell you. Listen to me. But yeah, I mean, everyone's a fanboy of something. You can be a fanboy of Star Wars, can't you, Hayden? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, you can. Or Star Trek, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's... But I think what you would want to put in the room is some of the stupidity and closed-mindedness of fanboys, if you're going to put anything in there.
Yeah. I mean... Yes, I agree with you, because I think that if we define this in terms of video gaming, because I think that this is probably where he's coming from, more than anything else.
Yeah.
But in terms of the debates that we have seen and we have drawn and pulled our hair out of because of...
Especially with Facebook as well over the years.
Yes. About, my... PlayStation 4 is better than your Xbox, and all of this. It really, I am just so incredibly tired of seeing it. And to be honest, I am so sick of seeing a lot of the time the same people coming out with the same old rubbish about, oh, the Xbox has no exclusives. Well, actually it does. And the PlayStation's losing exclusives in droves. So get with the program. We're gamers. Let's not be fanboyish about all of it, because I'm just so sick of it. Yes, I'm sat from a position of luxury in the fact that I've got all formats. I've got access to all formats, and you've got access to most formats. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's it's a true comment. But to be honest, that's more to do with, I've had to do without some games to be able to achieve that as well, in terms of, the bigger picture sort of thing, but also in terms of this delivery of this show. And to be honest, both of our preferred consoles, I think nobody would in any way disagree if we turn around and said our preferred console is Xbox. And it has been all along, because you play Xbox most of the time, and so do I.
Yeah. It's just the way it is, to be honest.
Yeah, and to be honest, even when the Xbox One was the least powerful console, I still preferred to play a game on the Xbox One to the PlayStation because, for a start off, in my opinion, the controller is massively better on the Xbox, and I don't have to sit there after an hour and then have a lead plugged into the console in order to charge the controller again. So that's just reality. It's the practicality and also the comfort in terms of the way that the controller feels in your hand. You get somebody else who will completely disagree with me, and that's fine, that's their opinion. But where it becomes a problem is where, and we know who they are in terms of groups, because you see them in different groups, same people, just posting that, as soon as somebody says something positive about one console, someone will post something negative about that console and boost up the other one. Why can't we just all be glad that, well, actually, a lot of the games are available on all formats anyway, so that doesn't matter. Xbox has got a load new coming, even though there have been loads that have been disappearing off, as exclusives off PlayStation, they've still got loads. Let's just all be happy that we got games and let's not be fanboys about it. Because at the end of the day, I can tell you one thing right now, none of those mega corporations will give any care at all about what we say as individuals.
Yeah.
That's the reality. But
anyway,
what's your thoughts?
No, I as I said, it's just a closed-mindedness and stupidity of adults being stupid. It's just children over mine's bigger than your scenario. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I mean. That's all I want to throw in there, to be honest.
I think, to be honest, a lot of it is sort of like people feeling threatened that their choice of purchase is in a way that they're being tested, and to me,
it's your own justification. You pay for what you want to pay and what you want to play. It doesn't matter how you play it.
Yeah, and if you think you've made the wrong choice, don't take it out on other people because they've got what you want. Just sell what you've got and go and get the other one.
I don't think they feel that. I don't think they feel that. It's just some people. I don't know. Anyway, I want to move on from this because there's no point going any further.
No, that's true.
Because I'm going to pass out in a minute. That bad.
John, what's happening to us?
Questions. Just move on. You can start there.
Okay. So Mark says, if you were to develop your own game, what would it be and how would it make you lots of money? Freemium or pay up front?
Well, if I could turn back time, I think it would be something like Fortnite. Not that it's a game that you or I would ever play.
Well, I have played it. I just don't particularly enjoy it.
No. But
to me, it's like a teenager sort of game.
It is, but the amount of money that's now drilling out at the moment is incredible.
Obscene,
An absolute obscene amount of money, and that'll have its time. It'll fall down the wayside and something else will come and take its place. But for the moment, wow.
Well, to be honest, I think it is on its way out, to be fair, because my son's gone back to playing the games he used to, and he's not totally stopped, but he's certainly slowed down on them. And he said, actually, Fortnite is a bit boring because you end up just camping, waiting for people to go past and start taking pot shots at them, because nobody goes in that game like the Terminator, and if you do, you last about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So if I was to develop my own game, I think I would probably go for the World of Warcraft sort of model, or the EVE Online, because I think that the way that they've done it, and when you look at EVE, how many years has that been going?
Yeah, but that's not as. I think Diablo works better than that, probably.
Really?
That sort of game. Yeah, that's got that fan base is huge for that game.
Well, so is World of Warcraft.
Yeah, well, they all played similar sort, and there's a niche for every sort of game that's available. It depends how you pick and what you get to. The luck of the draw, which comes out on top for a while.
Yeah, I think what you want, because things like Fortnite are flash in the pans. What you want is something that's a real slow burner that just keeps going and going and going, and it keeps earning a consistent amount of money. Look at Minecraft. How long has that been going on? Who seriously is still buying Minecraft? Who doesn't own that game now? I don't understand why it's even in the charts. Why is it still being sold? Because surely everybody, they must have sold enough for everybody in this country with the amount of years that's been in the charts. Because it is years. You know, it must have outstripped FIFA and all of those sort of games in terms of income.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
So,
okay. Anyway, so the second question is, if you could erase a game from existence, what would it be and why? That's a difficult question.
do you think?
Have you got one then?
The game I would erase from existence would be Mass Effect Andromeda. And why? So that BioWare would actually make a decent game that was in the Mass Effect universe. There you go. Because, you know, at the end of the day, last week we said that Mass Effect Andromeda was our biggest letdown. Well,
yeah, I agree with you, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think of another game, though. But, yeah, it's one that should never come to fruition.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think of another game, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you notice I didn't actually say Fallout 4.
You leave Bethesda alone.
No, but to be fair, mate, I do actually respect your love for that game. I seriously do. I know you love that game. I just don't get anything out of it.
No,
I wouldn't erase it from existence because I know that you love it.
I'd be giving you murder.
Well, if it erased it from existence, you wouldn't have known about it.
No. I can't. I'm going to stick with you on that one because it's not moment is nothing I can think of at the moment. Okay, your turn.
So, Nikki asked 2 questions. First off, is what 3 things would you have done differently to make The Last Jedi better?
It's only one thing, don't film it.
No, I can think of 3 things.
Well, I'll let you do that because honestly, I really.
You don't care because you're hot and sweaty and you're tired
I don't.
And you're hungry.
I'm hungry. Yeah, I don't. No, and I'm bored of Star Wars at the minute. That may sound really pig-headed at all at the minute, but I've had enough of Star Wars.
We all have our loves.
Yeah.
At the moment, your attention is focused on Star Trek
and pizza. So I haven't eaten yet today, so I'm really hungry. Okay. Go on, carry on. Give us your views.
First off, I would have had someone else other than Ryan Johnson involved in the project, and that means basically A, completely rewriting it, B, with people who actually care about the Star Wars universe, care about the fans, care about the continuity, and care about the overarching story arc. So that's the first thing. Secondly is get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, full stop, from the whole area so she doesn't interfere with it. And thirdly is to make sure that anybody who suggests doing anything social justice warrior-ish in Star Wars or has the stupid humour that they put in that film is put against a wall and shot. There you go. There's the 3 things. Dead easy. And then you would have had a good Star Wars film because it would have been.
Kennedy. That's all I'm going to say. So that's about
yeah. Well, I do think because to be honest, she's in charge of LucasArts. I think she's looking at bottom line. I don't think that she's looking at preserving that as a legacy, and that's what she should be doing. I think that she should have a very clear plan over where all of this is going. And to me, I mean, we've gone over this so many times, but Ryan Johnson just made decisions to go in the opposite way that what everybody thought because he wanted to do that. I don't think that there's any plan for Star Wars, and this is what I don't get because when you look at Marvel, which is still owned by Disney, that is a cohesive universe. Star Wars is falling apart. And it needs to be done. And I know this is coming across as a bit arsey in terms of them, but seriously, the thing that Star Wars needs is people who care about it. They care about the fans. They care about the legacy. They care about the fact that there are people who've been supporting this for 41 years. And they want to see what they want to see, but they also want to be able to take the kids to it so that their kids can enjoy it in the same way. And that is what is important. That is what Star Wars is all about now. All of this, the things that are saying, well, when it was The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, you didn't know the Emperor's history. Yeah, that was because it was the original trilogy, which then was followed by the prequels. Granted, we didn't know the prequels were going to be there then, but we always knew that there was going to be an episode 1 when Star Wars was renamed Episode 4 A New Hope. So the fact is, it's a different beast from the 1970s and 80s to now. And now we expect to know who Snoke is, where he came from, what he was about, all of those sort of questions which Rian Johnson steamrolled over. All the things that we were built up to care about from J.J. Abrams. And that's the honest truth. It needs to have the respect to the fans.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay, well, his second question, is... I'm trying to work this one out in my head, actually, but why are movie companies filming in 2K mostly, but we're filming in 4 and 8K in the late 90s and early 2000s?
They weren't. They weren't. You've got... To be honest, Nicky, here, this is a misunderstanding in terms of the technology. The reason why they're filming in 2K, I don't think that they are now. I think they're actually filming in 4K. I think that there's been a slow move over the years. But in terms of the technology used in the early 90s and before, even 2000 and before, is the fact that you were shooting on 35mm or 70mm film. The transfer rate for a 35mm film is equivalent to 6K, and for a 70mm film is 12K. So that's why, it's because it was an analog technology which digital technology can produce at a higher rate because of the scanning process, which is not the same as shooting it now on equipment that is only at a set image density, and that's why. But look at them being filming in IMAX as well. Some of these films. Well, IMAX, they reckon that IMAX is 4K, but it's not. It's actually an overlap 2K. So you're not actually getting higher quality image from that, because the way it's projected, it's actually projected with 2 projectors as well. And also overlap, because it's all about the bigger screen for what IMAX is anyway. That image you're getting. Yeah, but it's not it's not a 4K image that you're getting. You're getting 2K on IMAX. Yeah. There's, matter of fact, I can't remember which movie it was, but films have only just started being recorded in 8K now. I think that it might have been Solo or one of those ones that was the first one to be actually filmed. They're always doing that further than we're going to see it anyway. Yeah, because they've got to have that future-proofing. But in terms of digital technology is different to analog. It's so they can rip us off when we buy the different versions over the years, you know that. Well, it's not only that, because in terms of the way that CDs work, for example, CDs, basically the reason why it doesn't sound like as a fuller sound is because CDs record all sounds between certain frequencies, whereas the analog technology in a vinyl record is recording all frequencies that needle can pick up. And that's why a vinyl record always sounds better when it's a crystal clear, brand new record. It always sounds better than a CD does, because it's got that fuller sound. It's got that stuff that we don't consciously pick up on, but our brain still interprets. Although even some older albums still sound as good as they do now. I mean, if I listen to digital, I will listen to it digital. If I want to listen to a vinyl with a bit of a pop and a crackle in it, it's fine by me. Yeah, but that's for the older ones, isn't it? Yeah. Well, even albums now still have a bit of a... They're not perfect in any shape or form because of the way vinyl's press these days and the masters. Yeah. You do get the odd pop and crackle occasionally on the odd place, but there you go. So, Justin Lee, could you easily revert back to one machine or console for gaming? And do you think owning multiple machines makes you less focused on getting through games? I think I can probably agree with them in a minute. Apart from the very occasional PlayStation exclusive, I mainly use my Pro for Destiny.
everything else is multi-format on Xbox, and it's got me thinking, do I want to keep my multi-consoles or full of games for multiple subscriptions of a year after year and probably get a chance to never finish things on one, So I can see where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But it's an occasional game like The Last of Us you'd never get to play. Do you know what I mean? Which is fantastic.
Yes. I mean, in terms of it, I probably could, but not doing this podcast.
No. Because then it'd be an Xbox podcast.
Yes.
And then
or
you're
a PC
limited.
podcast, one or the other. But, obviously, you've done a podcast with one format before.
Yeah.
And I think that at times that made it more difficult for you to relate to some of the stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you couldn't experience that.
No.
The things like Uncharted and why we'd be gushing over, extreme mountain climbing simulator. Sorry, Uncharted in that way is, it was a bit probably beyond your times just because you couldn't play it. Whereas I think if we weren't doing this, it would be relatively easy to do that because you would choose which one had the titles that you want and then you would just stick with it. I mean, to be honest, I'm not bothered about missing The Last of Us 2. I'll play it, but I didn't really get much out of The Last of Us, let alone The Last of Us 2. Uncharted, once you've played one, they're all pretty much the same. It's the story on Uncharted that what's make it different.
Yeah, but it's not just those sort of games. I mean, I know you don't play that, but Persona 5 is a fantastic game and my game of the year last year.
Yes, that's true.
And I will go back and play that game again. Well, I have already started the next playing it for a second time. It's a superb game, and anyone that hasn't got a PlayStation, but it's saying it's horses for courses what type of game, but I think that's one of the best games on the PlayStation, personally.
Whereas personally, I think one of the games I've enjoyed the most on the PlayStation, or the two games I've enjoyed most on the PlayStation recently, have been God of War, the new one, and Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, that's a good game. I've got to carry on with that one, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, you must complete that. But I think that there are games that, if you don't have all the formats, you'll look and you think, I really wish I could play that game. But, yeah, if you don't have the money or whatever, then you've just got to choose the one that you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
okay, anyway. Do you want to quickly do this last one?
Yeah, so...
It's more for you than me.
Okay. Well, I don't know, because it's not necessarily PSVR, is it? But Gareth Cutcliffe has asked, I've been playing a great experience with Polybius on the PSVR. What's the most trippy game you have ever played? So it doesn't necessarily need to be PSVR, does it? It's just a trippy game.
No. Yeah.
Any ideas?
I tell you what, at the moment, I suppose... We Happy Few?
Why is that trippy?
It's how it comes across. You're having to take these pills, and those creepy policemen are very trippy indeed.
Yeah.
Can you come up with anything?
I think
if you want to take some weed while you play any game, then you're going to get that. I'm not saying you should do.
Yeah, we don't condone taking drugs.
Drugs. No, not at all.
At all. But I don't know. I think that there are a few sort of psychedelic kind of games that you can play.
Do you buy shops like that at all?
No. Maybe Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah.
There's some trippy bits in that, isn't there? There's also trippy bits in Batman Arkham Knight.
And also in Far Cry.
Yes, and in Far Cry. Lollipop Chainsaw as well.
Yeah.
That was one. But I think probably in terms of visually trippy sort of effect is Rez.
Yeah, you guys, that's spot on, yeah.
That was an on-rail shooter. Now, that was very trippy in terms of the graphics. But there've also been some music, rhythm action, as they are always called, but why they're called something different to QuickTime event games, I don't know. But there's been some that have had quite trippy effects on those. So I think that there are a few examples of, ones that give you that sort of, you're on drugs kind of effect without being on drugs.
Mm.
But I mean, obviously, in terms of Batman Arkham Knight and other Batman games, is that there was bits where Batman was hallucinating, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it's the same on Batman VR actually, as well as a few trippy bits on that.
Yeah, actually, with the Scarecrow.
Yes. Yeah, because that's what he does. Yeah. But it was with the Scarecrow. You're spot on there.
Yeah.
So there's a few, and evidently there's a game called LSD Dream Emulator as well.
Okay.
I have no idea what that's like, and to be honest, I don't really think I want to know. But evidently that game does exist.
Okay, I take you over it.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking online, to be honest, because I put in trippy games to see if there was any other example.
Why not? Exactly, why not? That's how else are you going to do it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I think there's a few different examples that you can actually pick up on.
Okay. Anyway, I think that's it now.
Yep, we're there. Another show.
Another one done and dusted.
Indeed.
So, my outro will be Twitter @Steve007. PSN ID, The Real Steve007, Xbox Steve007, and YouTube Steve007 now at last. Email steve007@popculturegamers.co.uk. And yourself, Hayden?
My YouTube channel is, just search my name, Hayden Reese Jones. You can also get me on Twitter, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, and everything else at HRJUK. Emails hrjuk@popculturegamers.co.uk, or if you want to just email the podcast generally, then it's podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. Don't forget our Facebook group, which is, surprisingly enough, popculturegamers.co.uk. And also our website as well, popculturegamers.podbean.com.
And there we have it.
Another show.
Thank everyone for listening.
Thank you very much.
And all I need to say is it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him too.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.